Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Provide. Today we have a glute workout. Let's start on the floor here with just a couple big breaths. Let's breathe in and out. Two more just like that. Big belly breaths in and out. One more in and out. Good, and staying seated, we'll do some head rolls, working out all those kinks in your neck, nice and slow head rolls. And going the other direction, we have one, and last one. Good. Let's get those shoulders warmed up a little bit. Big shrug up and rolling back. And reversing that forward. And let's do a big reach over, stretching out our side body here. Reversing that, flipping the palm up, and big reach over to the other side. Great. All right. Let's get going into our ab circuit. We're seated, and we're going to just take a couple seated cat and cows. So as we are seated, our hands are behind our knees, and we are arching and curving our back. Warming up the spine some, warming up the abs a little bit. Good. Taking the arms out in front of you, we're going to do kind of a reverse sit up here. So we're leaning all the way back and coming back up. We're going back as far as we can and then coming back up like somebody is pulling our arms back up to fully seated. Keep going with this here. Fantastic job, you guys. We've got about 10 more seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Coming down to your back now, we are going to do a dead bug for a minute here. So opposite arm and leg reaches out and then comes back in, and we're alternating here. So one leg straightens as one arm reaches behind your head. We keep going here for a minute, staying nice and strong and stable in that core. Keeping the lower back glued to the floor here. Great job, you guys. Okay, we've got only about 5 more seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job finishing in that out. Keeping the legs bent, we are gonna go to a spiral here. So our legs are bent. And our legs are glued together, and we are spiraling the lower half of our body, working the obliques a little bit here. Important to remember that our upper back is staying glued to the ground, so we're not letting our shoulder blades come up. Our arms are pressing to the floor. Our shoulder blades are staying glued to the ground as we are just spiraling the lower half of our body. Only about 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on to our next ab series, we have leg lowers. Legs are staying straight and they're going down as far as they can and then reaching back up to the ceiling. It's important to not let our lower back arch up. I'm putting my hands underneath my tailbone to support me here, making sure that I don't release that lower back. Feel free to try this if you'd like, or if you're not having any issues with keeping your lower back on the ground, then arms can just stay right by your side. We're really working our lower abs here. Last couple seconds here and finish. Coming to a bridge, our hands are reaching up to the ceiling. We're doing alternating marches here. So this is a deep core exercise. We're keeping those hips lifted up towards the ceiling, arms are reaching up, and we are alternating marching here, driving that knee up towards your chest. We've got about 10 more seconds left here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we stay here. We are going to finish this workout working on our glutes, doing a bridge series. So we're just going to be taking a normal bridge here. Feet are about hip width apart, and we're really focusing on pushing through the feet, driving the hips up to really work on those glutes. Now coming up here, we are going to keep those hips nice and lifted in a pulse. So we're just pulsing here. Focusing on burning out that glute muscle, little tiny pulses. Squeezing at the top. Now from here, keep those hips lifted high. We are doing calf raises. So continuing to squeeze those glutes, holding at the top of your bridge, and then adding in these calf exercises. We're close to being done here. And lower. Now, next glute bridge series, we're coming into a wide stance. So nothing really changes except for the stance of our legs. We're taking them beyond our hips, working a different part of our glute muscle here, but still doing a bridge. And once again, we have those pulses, pulsing the hips up and up and up, slow and controlled here. And in a few seconds, we hold at the top and we add in those calf raises. So keep going with the pulses. Keep it up. Great job, you guys. And let's add in those calf raises here. We've got 30 seconds of this. Can you get a little bit higher in that bridge? Can your hips lift a little bit more here? Just a few more seconds until we move on to our next glute bridge series. And coming down. We have a narrow stance now, so our legs are squeezing together, coming up into a glute bridge. We're getting not only a different part of our glute here, but we're also working on the inner thighs here as we are focusing on squeezing the inner legs together. And in about 3 seconds, we are adding in our pulse. And pulse it out. Now, you may notice that your range of motion isn't as big as when we had our regular stance and our narrow stance. That's okay. That's because we're in a narrow stance here, so we're just pulsing up as high as we can. All right, keeping the hips high, we have our calf raises. We're here for 30 seconds. We're slow and controlled. We're not letting our heels just clunk down. We are being very intentional here with this movement. We're almost done with these calf raises. Good. We have a single leg bridge. So whatever leg you choose to be up in the air, the opposite leg is pressing us up into that bridge. Again, your range of motion may not be as big here. That is okay. We are going up as high as we can. In our single bridge series, there are no pulses and there are no calf raises. So that is kind of your motivation to keep going, and switch it out, other leg. Pressing through the heel, driving the hips up. Fantastic job, you guys. Keep going. We're almost done with these single leg bridges. Good. Coming out of that single bridge series, we bring the bottoms of our feet together, knees are out towards the wall, and we are driving our hips up here. Kind of like we are making a diamond shape with our legs. Again, working a different part of our glute here. Just a few more seconds left until we go into the final exercise. Good. Flipping over to your stomach, we have frog pumps. So you can rest your forehead on your hands here. Legs are connected behind you and they are pressing up towards the ceiling. You want to think about your feet going directly up towards the ceiling here. We are working the glutes. We've got about 5 more seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. And good job, you guys. Let's go ahead and stretch that out. Let's stretch out those inner thighs. We're here in a butterfly stretch because we did work on those inner thighs some in those narrow stance bridges. So relaxing forward over the legs, letting the knees flop out to the sides. And coming out, let's do a glute stretch, bringing that ankle over the thigh. If you would like to take this stretch lying down, you can. You would take it onto your back and loop your hands underneath your knee to bring that leg closer to you. Switch it out. You can also change the intensity of this stretch depending on where your foot is underneath you. So if it's further away from you, it'll be less intense. If it's closer to you, more intense. All right, take the legs out straight in front of you and reach it up and over. Letting gravity take you forward, bringing that chest closer and closer to your thighs. Relaxing the neck, letting your head drop down. Trying to get deeper by the second here. And last but not least, let's flip it over into an upward dog, stretching out our abs, pressing those hips down into the floor, relaxing here deeper and deeper, pressing the shoulders down so that we're not shrugging our shoulders up towards our ears. Good, and pressing it back into a child's pose, relaxing here, taking some deep breaths, and showing your body appreciation for the workout that you just did. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.